You are listening to an All Games Radio Network broadcast of allgames.com.
Hi, this is Normie from Knuckleballer Radio and Zombie Cast, and you're listening to one of my favorite shows on the Geeky Antics Network. Don't forget to check out the rest of the gang over at geekyantics.net. Warning, there might be rants and food ahead and possibly inappropriate behavior. Don't tell anybody though.
Geeks and gamers, furries and midget robots. Wow. I was coming in strong and then I lost it. This is HorsePLAY Live, and today is Saturday, May 12th. Yes, we're off schedule again. And this is episode 228 of HorsePLAY. I'm going to call this one Free Comic Book Day Haul and Random Rubbish. Pretty on the nose again. I'm not as clever with the titles anymore. I'm going to work on that. I'm your bald, bear lizard host, Yogizilla. This will be another short episode. I got dinner cooking in the crock pot. I gotta check on stuff, make sure we eat at a decent hour today. But today we'll talk about, we'll have some news, some stuff happening on the home front, and yeah, that is the plan. So without further ado, let's just jump right in. I do want to say though, actually, if you're new to the show, make sure you check us out at geekyantics.net. If you want to leave us voicemail or text us, 646-801-2149. What else is good? Facebook is still good. Look up Geeky Antics. You'll find us there. And I'm Yogizilla everywhere. Mainly Twitter and Xbox Live these days. Of course, if you want to join us at Discord, geekyantics.net/Discord. Just want to give you some places. I'm thinking about talking about our usual schedule because I have been keeping up with it. Shame on me. But anyway, let's just jump straight into Meanwhile Back at the Ranch. What has been going on since we last talked? So we did a quickie last Friday, which was May 4th. Yes. So this is a very, very, very busy weekend because we have May the 4th. And May the 4th be with you. All Star Wars. And then Saturday, there's a bunch of local stuff going on, including the Columbia County yard sale, which goes from like 7 a.m. to like noon. You got to get in there early because they have a shit ton of stuff on sale. And unlike most yard sales, there's a lot of new stuff. They have these expensive German knives that are pretty high quality. I forget what they're called. Usually you're spending like, a few hundred or even over 1,000 per knife. It's ridiculous. They're selling them for like $50 or $100 a pop. Authentic, no less, too. Stuff like that. They had appliances and all kinds of crap. Yard sales are fun. It's interesting. I'm thinking about it. I don't really like big crowds. And that's become more the case the older I get. And I really want to shop. And Amazon has spoiled me. And I just, whatever I want, just go on there, boom, 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 done. But every now and then, it's nice to mingle. You can network a little bit, right? And you can catch some stuff that may not be in where you actually want it or need it. And you think about it like, oh. They had this Bavarian knife sharpener. They can set it to a coarse or a fine sharpen. It's pretty neat the way they did it. And that thing restores crappy knives to really good shape. So, some interesting stuff. And of course, you had Free Comic Book Day, Cinco de Mayo, and a shit ton of stuff happening all over the U.S., probably all over the world. I don't know how big of a deal Cinco de Mayo is, but it felt like everybody was up to something. You know, Avengers opening weekend, wasn't it? Last weekend? I mean, Jesus, no, that just last weekend was the second weekend it was open, but still lots of hubbub. The Avengers love is going strong. Yeah, it was a crazy weekend, and already this weekend's just about halfway over, and there's so much I gotta do before I jump to the work week. It's like, where does the time go? My dog still won't shut the fuck up. Our puppy is like the ringleader. She starts howling. Little one's a Tana. Yes, named after the DC character. She starts yelping. I can't even do it. She's either barking like a chicken or not even clucking, barking. It's bok 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 bok. Or she's freaking making this really annoying yelpy, whiny sounds. It's uncanny. And then Kaya, who's usually the most well behaved of the lot. Lila, she's currently living somewhere else because of stupid community breed restrictions, and then we don't want to get into it with people. Like, your dog is scary. Like, no, she's a sweetheart. She just looks scary. She's got a big old yard and a farm to play on, so I miss her, but shit happens. But yeah, Kaya joins in too. Not as loud or persistent as the rest of them, but Jesus. Definitely a cat guy. Now, let me take that back. I love dogs, but don't get little dogs. I'm gonna get a mixed breed that has little dog mixed in, because they're yelpy and they never shut up. And they always want to play, and they just, when you're old, it's too much shit. When you're young, it's great. If you're an outdoorsy person, then go to the park, go rock along the river. Great. I ain't doing all that shit. That's too much work. My weekends are to decompress and relax and re-energize for the next work week. That's pretty much my life. Adulting's tough, guys. You young bucks don't know what what you're in for yet. You're complaining now. Wait till the real stuff happens. Reality hits you like a 18-wheeler. I had this strange blue box of death on my computer today. It was only on one of my monitors. I was thinking, okay, this could be a Windows thing, but I've never seen this before. But it looks like a window used to be there, but it's grayed out in the middle and a blue border. So I said, these monitors have demo modes, and I remember there's being a demo mode where it'll split one half and show you what it looks like when it uses the sharpen special mode versus just plain dull washed out screen. And then it looked kind of like that. And so I said, let me look around. No one had a real answer. People say, just run the Windows Fix-It tool or reinstall everything. It's like, no. So I did the smart thing. This is the thing about troubleshooting. Even a lot of IT people get this wrong. I would say most that I've worked with or worked for me get it wrong. Because we tend to just think about the advanced techniques. We try to overcomplicate things. We jump straight into the crazy shit. Let me write some binary, You can't keep shit simple, It's like, alright, instead of just saying, hey, what's the IP address subnet mask, you got people that are like, they want to show off that they passed the Cisco exam. Good for you, so did I. And they're like, is it a /24 or /20? Ooh, like, no one cares. Great, you could do binary and figure out, what those slashes convert to. Good job, but for most folks, that doesn't come into play unless you're working with Cisco stuff. And now Cisco has WYSIWYG. You can use vManage and other tools to manage it through a GUI. So you have to use the CLI. So they can suck it. And I was tired this week. I said the dumbest thing I've ever said, and I was like, I was trying to help these engineers from our customers' IT department fix something on their subnet on our network because they insist on having their equipment on premise. I said, well, yeah, I'll just VLAN it and you could go on our network, but I'm not going to give you your own circuit and have to support another thing. And plus, we have fiber and it's super fast, so it's synchronous connection, enjoy. I actually slipped up and said asynchronous. No, synchronous means up, same both ways, duplex, full duplex, Your up is your down. You know, and not like these cable modem that I got 200 megabit download and 4 megabit upload. Good job. You know, burstable fiber, so we can get that thing up to 200 megabit if you want to, both ways. Woo, that thing is beautiful. Anywho, I gave them all the information for their public IP, what the NAT is, what the static route is, blah blah blah, gateway address. You know, and he's like, oh, it's a little slash. What's the slash what? I tell him what the subnet mask is 255.255.255.0, right? And anyone who knows anything, that's a 24/24, and it's basic, you know, Class C address, IP address. Well, I slipped up, and I don't know why. I was looking at paperwork, and it said /30, and it said /32. Which, if you do that, it basically will make it so that no IP address can ever be reachable, because the 32-bit thing doesn't really exist. You know, it's almost like setting up a loopback address almost. It's probably not a good way of explaining it. Anyway, I'm trying not to get too technical. But ISP has written down as /30, which is wrong too, as well, because DHCP was assigning /24. You know, the simple way to look at it is each octet and IP address is you know, they call it octets because it's an 8-bit block. So 8 plus 8, that's 16. 16 plus 8 is 24. So it refers to the first 3 octets. It basically says the last 8 octets are your host network, so to speak. I forget the terminology now. See, I'm rusty. Yeah, I assure you, I'm certified. But you know, the thing is, on the field, you don't need half of this shit. It's all just theoretical crap that you just spew out to, you know, do dick measuring and see if someone's really as smart as they say they are, or if they're at least paper smart. There's a lot of paper smart guys that can throw around all this stuff and do binary conversion and hexadecimal conversion, but then when it comes to the simple troubleshooting, they're like, pfft. So anyway, all that to say, you know, simple troubleshooting steps. Think about the simplest step you could take to figure out what the real issue is. So I just swapped monitors. Lo and behold, monitor worked fine. Didn't have the box. So I said it has to be hardware related. So I tried to do a manufacturer reset on the monitor. That didn't fix it. So I did the next best thing. I unplugged it and let it sit for a little bit. Unplugged from the power, everything. Plugged it back in. Lo and behold, the box is gone. It just needed time to breathe. That's all. Yep, that's the equivalent. Even monitors need a reboot, since that's the simplest way to reset them. So yeah, blue box of death, pwned your ass. Good thing. But it got me thinking. I've been fighting upgrading Windows to Windows 10 on all my PCs. A majority of them have it. I think I'm gonna finally do it on mine. That's gonna be a weekend project. I'm gonna just move files around, make sure everything's backed up. Just fucking get it done with. Problem is, a lot of software that I use isn't Windows 10 compatible, and it's discontinued and it's already paid for, or you can't find it anymore. So I'm like, I have to find equivalent tools for that. Yeah, it's such a hassle. Reinstall everything. And the reality is, there's only so much that I use. You know, I'm not doing much PC games. So I just gotta install Steam. When I want to play something, I'll have to install those games. Discord. Right, your OBS for streaming. Of course, you gotta have Audacity, antivirus software. You know, drivers, of course. But usually, the Win 10 installer is pretty good about it, installing those to boot. Blizzard client, need that for my Hearthstone and Heroes of the Storm. So yeah, start off clean. Clean. I mean, I'm about to blow out a bunch of data directories and just start off fresh. Most of my data is running off of only my high-end games run off of my SSD, and then I got a big mechanical hardware for the lower-end games. I don't need that extra performance in all my data, so I really kind of set the stage for that. When you're working off a single hard drive, it's a pain in the ass to do that, because then you have to like create installation media and make sure your data is backed up, and you can't really stage it somewhere else, you know. So anyway, thinking out loud, I've been putting it off, and I found out that you can still get the free Windows 10 upgrade if you just use the English Win 10 upgrade as for Great Britain and just changed it to EN-US instead of EN-GB, it still works. So, good. They should be giving that shit away. I'm still not a fan of Win 10. We were doing Win 10 upgrades at work. It's way better than the 8, but I'm not sold on it. Performs pretty well. I'll give it that. But I feel like there's like just a lot of shit in there that I don't really care about. It's just making a bigger footprint that's needed. Win 7 Ultimate has been really good. It's been my Windows 2000. You know, it's just lightweight, runs smooth, computer boots up in seconds, and I like it. So Win 10, I gotta say, does have good boot time. So we will see. I don't know if I'll do that next weekend, but eventually it's like a band, you just gotta pull it, you know? Anywho, Avengers, that's the thing, right? Lots of spoilers all over the place. I need to see the movie. I think last episode I said I was gonna watch it, hopefully, and then be able to report it, and I didn't get a chance to do that. But I did get to catch up on Legion, a couple other shows, which I didn't catch up on Gotham. I just realized I missed a few episodes for that, so that might be a little mini binge tonight. What else did I watch? Expanse is back. Oh, that show is still fantastic. I think I'm an episode behind on S.H.I.E.L.D., but they did their crossover into Infinity War. So I guess what it's called, the Avengers for this. Because apparently the Confederacy is not the biggest threat. There's a bigger threat, and the Confederacy was kind of a buffer, but they're saying, yeah, we can't stop this, so good luck. And they were just trying to just get Earth's resources before we got destroyed. So that shit was pretty great. I got some chills, I'm not gonna lie. Let's do some quick news, and then we'll bounce back to the main segment tonight, the Free Comic Book Day. So Twitter announced that there's a security flaw. If you haven't logged in recently, you better go on there. Apparently, they were saying, oh, well, you know, we store passwords in encrypted methods, so we don't know what they are. But we didn't realize that logs were storing them in clear text. Like, what? Why are you logging the passwords that people are entering? Like, what kind of shit is that? Are you just logging everything indiscriminately? That's like basic coding shit. So now, you know, they said, hey, you know, just to be extra careful, you may want to change your password here on Twitter and anywhere you use the same password. Major pain in the ass. So if we don't got enough shit to do. Nintendo has been announcing a bunch of shit, and I won't pretend to know everything they said. I know that they announced Nintendo Online is going to be $20 a year, which is really good. And they said they're not doing Virtual Console anymore, per se. Instead, what they're going to have is Nintendo Classics, and that gives you access to NES games with your subscription. Kind of like Game Pass, but it's all built in. And for $20, I think, you know, it's a good deal. Anything more, I think they'd be pushing it, because let's just face it, Nintendo has no idea how online works. And here's the other thing, they really need to get to a point where that virtual library follows you, so you're not buying it for each console. You know, I went kind of heavy into the Wii, and you know that shit didn't come with you. So it's like, what's the point? You want to build up a collection, a library, and then it's gone. So fuck that. I mean, I get it. Digital content, you never truly own it, but that's part of my gripe. See, physical, you always own it. Unless someone steals the shit, it's yours forever. You know, there's things they could do to pull a license or make it so it doesn't play, but there's usually ways around that. Digital, pull it out of your library. Oh, it's gone. Oh well. So Nintendo seems to be doing some stuff now. They're making some good moves. Good on them. I heard about some possible crossover stuff they're gonna be doing, and licensing deals where they're gonna be able to. I think they were talking to Sanrio. I'm like, what are they gonna do? Put Hello Kitty characters in their games? I don't know. But they're trying to expand their universe, it looks like. So, might see some good mashups. You know, they finally started doing, you know, cross-play type stuff. So it seems like they're really learning what this online stuff is all about. But I guess that's not really their market. But then you look at this and you go, well, the whole Nintendo Classic thing is all NES games. They're going for the older game, and most of us old farts, we've kind of evolved past the single player stuff. Or better yet, we've always been into the couch experience, handing a controller to a friend, or, old Atari ColecoVision television games, they had 2-player modes, so then they have 4-player modes, There's all kind of stuff they were doing, even that early on. So I feel like multiplayer has always been big, but depends who you talk to. If you look at the numbers, multiplayer gaming is stronger than ever. But if you listen to some gamers, they're like, no, I just want some good single player content. I'm not one of those. But if you like that, you got Nintendo and Sony. And if not, for people that enjoy online experiences, Xbox and PC. That's what I say. Yep. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And there might be some potential partnerships. If Nintendo partnered up with Microsoft, that would be interesting. That would completely change the game. Because think about it. The Switch is a mobile platform, and it's also a living room experience as well. Different from what Sony and Microsoft are offering. So if they chose to do more cross-play, license out properties, stuff like that, Nintendo could provide the mobile experience, the mobile side of it. So there's a lot of potential there. And then maybe I actually would care about Nintendo again. Now it's kind of like, no compelling reason to own a Switch other than finding something to blow your money on. That's what retirement fund is for. They can blow your money. So anywho, let me go over my hauls from Free Comic Book Day. Last year I got Mega Man, which is now no longer being made. That's one of the Archie Comics joints. But I think they're gonna come up with a new series on that. They always stop it for a little bit and come back. Got Sonic Universe, Attack on Titan, Star Trek: The Next Generation, Captain Canuck. He's a Canadian superhero. Betty and Veronica. Spill Night. Got a Marvel reading chronology guide. Marvel Secret Empire. Those were the free ones. Then I got Stephen King The Stand, because I like Stephen King. And I got Saga. Which volume is this? Volume 7. Once in a while I like to buy random volumes just to poke in and see what the story is all about. And the Saga, I think, is a good one where you can just jump in and out. And I don't really care about the progression of things. I just like the random shit that happens. Like, okay, cool. There's a lot of penises in this volume. Sure. But, so that was just one bag. This year I got like 2 bags of stuff. And I bought a bunch of stuff, but I only spent under $100, which, if you haven't been in a hobby shop and you have a pulse and you consider yourself a real geek, I would say that's actually pretty good. These weren't free, but they were 25 cents each. Deja Thoris. Reminds me of the old Conan. Barbarian art. Sheena. The Queen of the Jungle. That's 25 cents. They had a whole bunch of cool swag. I actually came early this time before everything was gone. They had these mini DC comics. Everything was 20% off in the store, including board games and minis and all that stuff. But they had these like Star Wars pens. So you can have Obi-Wan in your pocket. What's freaking Samuel Jackson's character? I freaking lost it. One of the council members. DC Nation number 0. 25 cents for that one. 3 all new stories. Free comic here. The Amazing Spider-Man. And most of these are promos. They don't have any number on them. Plus, learn everything. Learn about everything Infinity inside. Such a cross-selling thing. The Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, plus Captain America. Overwatch. These are all free right now, by the way. Doctor Who. This one's the 2018's Epic Journey starts here. I can't wait for the new season. Die Kitty Die, which is very Archie looking. I like the art style. But apparently it's Astro Comics. Transformers, Unicron, the Headlopper. That was one I got from one of the boxes. A thick volume, maybe about 30, 40 pages. Not that big, but bigger than just a regular comic. Maybe about twice the size of a comic, actually. Headlopper. Looks like it'll be fun. Get this for one of the kids. Disney Princess, Little Mermaid. The Meta Baron looks very cyberpunk. A Brief History of Tank Girl. This one really had 2 stories in it, and I haven't read most of these yet. Dissension, War Eternal, Words of Aspen. Oh, Words of Aspen, 2018. That's from Aspen Comics. So Dissension, War Eternal, and New Way. Dissension looks really interesting. New Way, looks like a martial arts thing, but I'm not really keen on the art style. This is a good sci-fi one here. These are all free, by the way. Relay. And Howard Lovecraft, Big Book of Summer Fun. So I think those are the free ones, and I separated it to the paid ones. I got a lot more than I should have been getting, because it's like usually like a 5. Every store does it different, but in my store we do 5 free comics limit per person. But I bought a lot of shit, so I'm like, fuck you guys. I also bought Suro, the board game. I've been meaning to buy it for a long time. That game is fun, and it's so quick and easy to set up. It's tile based, and basically you just make a maze as you go along, and you force people to follow that path. And if you force them off the board, then you kill them, and the last person standing wins. You can also kill each other at the same time. That's pretty fun too. Your paths cross. Thank you, Tabletop with Will Wheaton, for that. So I got Legion, issue 2, Drama. This is from the Marvel Legacy series. Plus bonus digital content. And it looks like now everything is rebooted from everyone. DC and Marvel. X-Men Gold, number 27, part 2. It's got Colossus in the front with some machine hooked up to him. And who's that crying off his reflection on his skin? I don't recognize her. Oh God, what's her name? I recognize this. I can't think of her name. X-Men Blue. This looks more like the classic X-Men. You got Sentinel holding Storm in his fist, and Wolverine. Is that Wolverine? Looks more like Daken being burned to a crisp. Of course, he'll recover from that. And those look like bone. They don't look like adamantium coated claws. So this is X-Men Blue number 26. X-Force, because why not? This was $1 for issue number 13. Has Cable in the front, and half his face is missing. This is Blowout. Like, sure. I like to just get random shit, and then if the story seems interesting, then maybe I'll pick up the rest. The Young Ally, sorry. What does Emma Frost of the X-Men want with Firestar? Interesting cover. I like the way they drew Emma too. She's such a sexy vixen. Troublemaker too, no less. And this is number 6, I guess, of Young Allies. $1. Can't beat that. All New X-Men number 1. I'm not too sure if I like this art style and the take on these characters. They all have like these anime style eyes. Is that Hawkgirl? No, that's Hawkgirl not. No, that's not. I'm thinking DC. What's her face? Is that a mini? Is that a young cyborg? That's Archangel. That's Cyclops. Everybody looks young. Iceman looks young and bright faced. Only $1. Bonus digital content. Got Daken, the Dark Wolverine. And I really like this because of the cover. It's number 13. It's featuring Moon Knight. I like Moon Knight. And he's saying, "So tell me about your mother." And Daken's laying down, playing with his claws. Blue, what are you doing? Wolverine and Black Cat. Claws 2. Number 2 or 3. $1. Got Wolverine number 73. That was $1. The Thors number 1. It shows all the different Thors. Avengers number 1 of the reboot. Got a lot of shit. Of course, I had to pick up Action Comics number 1000. This one's pretty thick too. Got a lot of stuff. Got some Batman, got Suicide Squad, got Labyrinth, got Walking Dead number 179, and I got Walking Dead volume 29, The Lines We Cross, which goes ahead of where they're at on the show. I just wanted to kind of see what I went ahead for and kind of see how things differed. Very interesting how much the show has taken creative liberties, which is good. I don't want it to be one for one. I want to be surprised. So I'm kind of glad I peeked ahead. So I have some idea where they're going with it, but could also be pleasantly surprised. And that's all I got. I can tell the household's getting restless, so I'm going to wrap it up here. If you want to connect with me, again, geekyantithetnet/Discord. You can meet the gang there. geekyantithetnet/podcast. Check out some of our other shows. And of course, check out the blog while you're there, too. Look up Geeky Antics on Facebook. And what else? I'm Yogizilla everywhere, Twitter, Xbox Live mainly these days. And yeah, leave us a voicemail or text us 646-801-2149. And with that, we'll see you next week. Peace.